Hello and welcome to a new playthrough of Hearts of Iron 4, where we are going to be playing as Yugoslavia. It has been quite some time since I've made a video, guys, and let's hit my microphone. I probably shouldn't have done that. And yep, we're playing as Yugoslavia. Now, since I've last done a video at all, now I can't remember if Together for Victory came out yet. I guess it might have. Whatever. Death to Dishonor also came out, and that gave Yugoslavia, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, and Romania all focus trees. I really can't remember if Together for Victory was out. Did my playthrough as Turkey. But whatever. We are going to be playing as Yugoslavia. Again, I'm just going to put it on regular. I'm not going to mess with these sliders at all. Historical AI focuses are going to stay on, and Iron mode is going to stay off just so I can save for video purposes. And let's put a timer on this so I know when to stop. There we go. So let's start, and I'll go over some stuff just at the beginning before I even start. Loading graphics. Oh yeah, and I do have some mods installed. I have one where I believe it's a better like political view or something like that. It just makes the map look a bit different. I have the colored button mods installed to the point I actually installed this mod before I even started playing it, like Hearts of Iron 4 the first time. So now it's just like almost part of the game for me, and I forget that it isn't sometimes. What else do I have installed? Oh, I have a historical flags mod installed. So that does mean we have this nice little swastika right here. And since I don't make any money off of these videos, it doesn't matter that it's there. And to be honest, I like playing with all the historical accurate flags, and yes, you know what, I'm not even going to open that can of worms. Alright, so here we are, Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia at this time was obviously a monarchy, having only been formed not even 3 decades ago after World War I, and we're being led by Prince Paul. And we are considered non-aligned for all intents and purposes. So, we do have quite a few national spirits that are basically pretty much all negative. The first one, well, most of these all have to do with all the different ethnicities within Yugoslavia. Now, I've never talked about with all like ethnicity problems in Yugoslavia over time, and I'm not gonna start now. So let's just get over with what we have here. So we have the Croatian opposition. It was minus 30% national unity, taking us from base 60 down to 30, which means we'll capitulate pretty much if someone takes any of our big cities. I don't think taking Zagreb and I can't quite see, it's probably like 2 or 3 for Ljubljana, but pretty much if someone takes Sarajevo or Belgrade, we're probably going to if someone takes Belgrade, yeah, we're going to capitulate immediately, no question. We have Macedonian opposition, which just makes changing any of our laws and governments tabs up here much more expensive, bringing them up to all the way to 187 political power. We have Slovene nationalism. Of them, this is the one that's not the worst. It's 10% production efficiency growth. Now that's not 10% political output. It's not changing this 5.5 per day. It's changing the growth of this number. So of all of them, it's the least. You can almost ignore it. It's really not that bad. However, we also have the trait Serbian General Staff, which makes getting more generals more expensive. Although that's not really going to be a problem if I just look right here. We have a fair amount of them. I don't think that's ever really going to be a problem. And we have max planning plus 10%. Again, nice, but not necessary. Now we have anti-German military. So it gives us plus 5% ideology drift defense. It's not really. I really think it maybe should be higher or against fascism only. Like the British have one for British Stoicism, which is 50%. Like that one actually makes a difference. Or at least maybe make it higher, just only get fascist influence. So all of these have ways to get rid of them. However, you do have different choices you can make. So let us go to our political tree real quick. If we look at our political tree, or our focus tree, you can see, I'll just go over here because this is pretty much the average that everyone has. We have, sorry guys, I had to burp there a bit. We have Naval, Army, and Air Force. Well, this stuff for the Air Force does have some of the new, I believe it does? Yeah, licenses that come from Death or Dishonor. So you have Industrial, which the only branches it has is pretty much developing stuff outside of Serbia or developing stuff inside of Serbia, which I will be going down the Serbian side, not for any particular reason other than the fact of the Serbian steel option, which gives me 16 steel. And that really for, how much do we produce? Yeah, we only have 4. So we have to import all of the rest of our steel, so it's much more useful to bring it in ourselves. Well, to produce it ourselves. So now we have 2 branches. We have the recognized Soviet Union. This is solely if you want to go a communist path, which I have decided we're not going to do. I think I might do a communist playthrough of a country later, but it's not going to be Yugoslavia. Mostly because I did a playthrough of Yugoslavia on my own time as a communist, and the Italians and the Germans kicked my butt because it's very difficult to fight them off. However, if you recognize Soviet Union, you have all a bunch of ways to go down. For communism, you can either join the Comintern or form your own Pan-Slavic Workers' Congress. And obviously with this you can fix any of the cultural problems there might be. Now if we go to the Western focus, we have this will give us everything for joining the Allies and the Axis. Now the Yugoslavian tree is unique in that all of these choices, while each choice is exclusive for each other, it does not, most of the time it does, I think other than a couple of them, you can pretty much go from one side to the other. Like if we go limited self-government, we can do guarantee religious liberties and local militias. However, that still gives us part of the penalty, or we can just flat out ban Slovene nationalist parties. Again, if we go here, we have Greater Yugoslavia, which using that we cannot no longer establish the Banovina of Croatia, but we do get all Yugoslavian regiments. If we do concessions for Macedonians, we can pick either of these. And I am going to be doing a Axis playthrough, and I'm not going to be able to really influence the end of the war at all. And I'm just going to flat out join the Axis. Really, it's very unlikely that I will get all the way to the end of the war. Very, very unlikely. As Yugoslavia, it's just not going to be possible for me to invade the United States. Well, it's not that it's impossible, it's just unfeasible. And once I start playing, I'll talk about some of the history behind what Yugoslavia did during the war. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth, but just be very rough. So I am going to be doing, other than, I think I am going to be doing all the left side. Well, actually, I could do, no, I'll get to that later. Whatever. So we have Clay and Macedonia, whatever. Doing Greater Yugoslavia does not get rid of Macedonian opposition, but it does mention that political support from Bulgaria plays a role. So I'm thinking that because Greater Yugoslavia gives you claims on Bulgaria, that it's possible that if you conquer Bulgaria, that will go away. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out. So first thing we're going to do is we're actually just going to start. First thing we really need to do is get rid of a bunch of these problems. Get that Western focus going. I don't know why I didn't just do the construction then, so I'm just going to do all my economic things. We're going to build some civilian factories. I feel like my mouse sensitivity isn't right or something. And we're just going to do that. Because really, as Yugoslavia, we do not have a lot of resources right now. And why? There we go. So we're a bit short on resources. Not the end of the world. And so we'll just put up the speed 5. Because really, we're just going to be waiting for quite some time. So who do I want my... I do want Gosniak there because there is some urban stuff here fighting in Sofia. I guess I'll take Kinetic. Oh yeah, and I'm pretty bad at pronouncing things of other languages. I mess up pronouncing things in English too, and that's my native language. So if I butcher anything, just accept that it's going to happen. I will definitely not pronounce a lot of things correctly. Now what are we not producing? We're not producing artillery or light tanks. So as Yugoslavia, we do start with how many light tank regiments? 1. I think it has like 2 or 3. Yeah, it's just 1 light tank and then some infantry. So I'm not even going to bother making light tanks. Artillery, however, we do need some of that. One thing I really wish they would do is make it so that everyone had equipment at the start, because it's kind of stupid that my whole army apparently does not have any supplies. I believe Germany is the only one that has any like supplies at all. I'm just moving my mic a little bit closer. One strategy I did one time when I was trying to just rush a world conquest as Germany, I eventually got bored, is I figured out that if you just immediately justify in Poland as soon as you can, and then immediately attack the Soviet Union as soon as you can after you have the border with Poland, the Soviet Union just doesn't have, like, obviously their military is still bigger, but because they have no supplies, like, so you have 34, I don't remember them having this much. Again, that is estimated, but regardless, they don't have any supplies, so it's not that hard. We're going to do, it doesn't really matter, I don't think. Oh, it does help for buying licenses, but we're not really going to do that. So I actually did do a quick little test playthrough. Not really a complete test playthrough, but I just wanted to see what the Yugoslavian tree was like for the fascist side, just to see what happened. And none of these actually increase your fascist like party popularity. So I realized that I had to basically wait until the war had almost already started to even be fascist. Although Germany did let me join the Axis, still as non-aligned. So I guess you don't really have to, but I want to turn fascist just so I'm able to justify on Bulgaria. Now, Prince Paul is unique in that, I guess not really unique isn't the right word, but interesting in the fact that he actually did join the Axis. And then 3 days later, as you can see by this, represented by the anti-German military national spirit, the Yugoslavian military overthrew him, and I think with Peter II. And they, I don't remember if they officially joined the Allies or if it was just kind of like a co-belligerent thing. But Germany and Italy did invade Yugoslavia, and basically had all the Yugoslavian resistance troops, although I'm not gonna say, I guess a good bit of it was done by the communists led by Tito. And after the war, much like many of the other, actually with all of the Balkan nations, I guess except Greece, they became communist, although they did not really align with the Soviet Union. And I believe that it's like Xoxa something, I can never pronounce his name right, from Albania, who was the leader of communist Albania for a time, who built all the quadrillion bunkers in it. He is actually the democratic reformer for Albania. So our primary targets are actually going to be Hungary. Now, Hungary will join the Axis. However, they will eventually become fascist, but they won't be part of the Axis for a time. And they have quite a bit of resources. And also the Treaty of Tryon, they'll probably renounce it before anything happens between us. But it does mean Hungary is fairly weak. I've been coughing a lot lately. And Hungary, they do have some oil, not much there. They do have lots of aluminum. Now we already have a lot of aluminum, but there is a chance that we'll be able to trade for it. And if we can take Hungary after they take southern Slovakia, we'll be able to get the steel from there too. Although our primary targets are, assuming we can't get Hungary, we're definitely going to go for Bulgaria, although there isn't much. Yeah, there's just 2 aluminum, not a lot. Albania we're not going to touch because there's not any resources there we want, and Italy is obviously guaranteeing them. Oops. Romania, however, has a lot of oil. Now, we might not necessarily get a lot of use out of it. But that'll be good for, we can send it to Germany and Italy, who are really going to need it. So I am planning to actually use licenses pretty extensively. Mostly because, as Yugoslavia, I'm going to need to focus on... I'm not really going to be building, like, any tank divisions at all. I just don't have the resources to do it, to build the tanks and the motorized troops needed to do it. And we'll be able to take away some of the time we'd be spending on the fighters if we can just license them from Germany or Italy. I'm just winning enough political power to get to early mobilization. Greece will also be another target to get, as Greater Macedonia, I believe is what it's called. Claim Macedonia. We get a core on Central Macedonia here. Now, I don't care much about the province itself. Obviously, having more core population to recruit from is nice. You could also possibly get Thrace, and then Epirus and Thessaly. Greece has a whole lot of resources that are going to be really valuable to us. And getting some chromium will be good for the German and Italian war effort. So we're going to go Greater Yugoslavia. So I'm probably going to just go all the way down to join Axis, and then I'm going to go straight over to the industrial program. Because really getting rid of so many of these things is so important. So we're gonna oh god, of course when I decide to record, that's when I start coughing more. I feel like I have a really bad problem where whenever I get sick, it's like that like snot that like gets in your chest or whatever, it stays there for like forever. We have plenty of civilian factories, so I can spend someone getting some steel. Oh, and one thing is I do have the Sabaton music turned off. I would like to have it on, but I don't have this monetized, obviously. I don't monetize any of my videos, just because I'd make like... It would cost them more to send me the letter with money I've made than I would actually make. Now, I don't even know how much I would make. Anyway, there's no reason for me to monetize anything right now. Not for... It's out of the view completely. And I gotta say, I'm actually kind of happy to be back making videos. And I'm pretty sure I've talked more about it than I've actually let it run. Yep, Yugoslavia claims Bulgaria, but we can't justify it on them yet because we are not fascist. We're gonna crush the Ustasta. Oh, and let's talk about the Yugoslavian Navy. So we are going to make a meager air force. It's really only going to be able to compete with like Romania and Bulgaria and Greece and maybe Turkey. we're not really going to be in any position to compete with the Soviets or really any of the other big powers. Actually, should I start making artillery? Yeah, I think I should. We'll just buy it straight from Portugal. Yeah, I do know we have like no manpower. German military mission, and we're already a good amount on the way to becoming fascist. Oh, let's see if I can pronounce this correctly. Yugoslavska Radikalna Skupnost. So it's pretty obvious that it says I'm gonna guess it says Radical Yugoslavian something. I guess. Yeah, I have absolutely no clue what that says. Like that last word. We'll get a military theorist so we can start building up that XP so we can eventually change our divisions to having the 2 artillery. And that's really all we're going to be able to do. We can't afford to do like a super soldier. Like as Turkey, I had a lot of, in my old playthrough as Turkey, I had a lot of manpower, but I also had other allies. And obviously the fact that we defeated the Soviet Union somehow, I was able to build a small navy and such. But also as Turkey, I never fought the Allies. I only fought the Axis and the Comintern. And I still remember the Turkish-led invasion of Japan. So one thing I am going to do is, I'm not going to need that for a while. So let's get another, no, we're going to need military factories, that's all we need. Hopefully, anyway. So my hope is that since I will own this, I'll be able to protect it more and be able to spare some of Italy's troops. And also, I will attempt to lead the invasion of Greece. Because I've noticed that every time the Italian AI ever tries to invade Greece, they can never do it. Although, I guess that's one of the few historically accurate... Oh, well, that was easy. One of the few historically accurate aspects of Hearts of Iron 4 that the Italians are unable to take Greece. Alright, this picture looks so much more low quality than every other portrait in the game. Yay! Should I do all Yugoslavian regiments? I'm gonna have some time, so I'll start industrializing. Ooh, maybe I should have attacked Greece first. Oh, I'm gonna pause real quick. You know what, guys? That's actually... So we turned fascist. This video is pretty much just gonna be the preparation for everything. Oh, I'm gonna crack my fingers right there. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, favorite, and subscribe. And one thing is, like, liking doesn't just make me feel better. It actually does. I do like when you like my videos, but it, God, I can never speak right. It helps my videos show up higher on, like, the search thing, so that's why I would also really appreciate it if you guys did that. So, I'll catch you all later. Peace!